So we have a really great guest this morning. Chuck Smith is here, and he's in town from Chicago, working with Westcoast Black Theatre Troupe. Welcome.
Thank you very much. And I wore my tie.
You did wear your tie.
Yeah, because I knew you guys were going to be taping. So.
Yeah, He, you know, I didn't even tell him. He just kind of knew, and he's just ready to go, raring. So, welcome to Sarasota. Is this your first time here?
First time here,
Really?
and I find it quite lovely.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying myself.
Well, it's paradise. It's hard not to like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty nice.
We kind of got it like that down here.
So they sent me Chuck's resume, and this is like, paragraphs and paragraphs of studies and of direction and of shows he's worked on and theater companies he's founded, and I could literally spend the whole segment just reading through all of that. But suffice it to say,
We will?
I've been around.
yeah, he's been around. Let's suffice it to say that we have the doctor of theater, Chicago theater here. Has most of your theater been in Chicago?
Most of it is in Chicago. Yeah, I'm born and raised in Chicago, and I started doing theater in Chicago when I got out of the Marine Corps in the mid '60s.
Hoorah!
And I've been at it ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did the Marines just kind of just turn you in that direction? Say, you know what, I want to go.
Believe
as
it
far
or not,
away?
it took me a while to figure it out, but it did, because theater is a very disciplined profession, and Marines are quite disciplined.
Yeah.
So being on time and doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, basic stuff.
And as a Marine, also pretending that you agree the guy who's telling you something is right.
There you go. All of that. Plus giving orders, and I'm a director. I like giving orders.
Yeah. So what got you involved with Westcoast Black Theatre Troupe?
I did this show, Knock Me a Kiss, at the National Black Theater Festival in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in 2011 and 2013. And Nick Jacobs saw the show at the festival and fell in love with it. Wanted to bring the whole cast and to Sarasota, but it was a little bit expensive for the whole cast. But I told him, look, if you really want to do it, I'd love to come down and do it for you. So he took me up on it, and here I am.
So we brought you down, and we got the whole Sarasota contingent.
Yes,
it's
an all. I got one person from Chicago.
Okay.
Who hadn't been in the show, but who auditioned for the show, and so, but everyone else is our locals.
And when is this show going to open? I know you're in rehearsals right now.
We preview on the 7th of January, and it runs through the 8th of February.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good run.
Yeah, nice run.
Yeah.
It's a great theater, too. I've only been there once. I saw the Sammy Davis Jr. show, but it was awesome.
Oh, yeah. The shows they do there are just so great. And
this is a drama. This is not a musical. They do a lot of musicals there, but this one is a drama. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting. The topic of this play is W.E.B. DuBois.
Well, yeah. The title of the play is from a tune by Jimmy Lunsford. Huh. And Jimmy Lunsford is one of the characters in the play.
Okay.
And Jimmy Lunsford was in love with W.E.B. Du Bois's daughter.
Okay.
And that's what the story's about. It's a love affair.
Right.
It's a love story. W.E.B. Du Bois wasn't too keen on his daughter hanging out with a musician.
Mm-hmm.
So he sort of steered her to this poet by the name of County Cullen, well-known poet.
He would rather his daughter date a poet than a musician?
Yes, indeed.
I was going to say, for those out there who are not familiar, W.E.B. Du Bois was essentially the poet laureate of the black community at the beginning of the 20th century.
Yeah, well, that was and he was the founder of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP.
Right. And there's
he was the initial civil rights activist.
Yeah.
In this country.
Is that character in the play as well?
W.E. is it? All of the characters. There's 6 characters in the play, and all of them are based. It's all based on fact. And only one is a fictitious character. One of the 6. That's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
W.E.B. is in there. His wife.
Uh-huh.
Jimmy Lunsford is in there. Of course, Yolande Du Bois is in there.
Right.
So yeah, we got a nice handful of fictitious characters in there.
Cool. Can you tell us about some of the actors that are playing these roles?
Only I'm familiar with 2 of them.
Okay.
Actually 3, because 3 of them two of them are transplants from Chicago who came down here and they just walked into the audition. I said, "Whoa, I didn't know you were down here." You know, and they got roles in the play, and again I brought one character down from Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
But it's you got a lot of great talent here in this area.
well, thank you. We're
And
proud of
I
it.
was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I actually had choices. So
Okay.
you know, a director loves choices.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
And so it was a wonderful audition process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the Westcoast Black Theatre Troupe, right now they're doing Black Nativity.
Black
That's
Nativity,
still
and it
running right
closes
now?
Sunday. So if you want to get over to see it, if you can get a ticket, by all means do.
Yeah.
Do so. I peeked in on it a couple of days ago. Oh, well,
Right.
it was Sunday.
Sure.
And it's a wonderful show.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Wow.
But
You're gonna so you're in rehearsals for this one now.
I'm in rehearsals now, and well, again, we'll be in rehearsals through, you know,
Till
for
the
the
show starts.
next couple of weeks. You
Yeah.
know, we got the holidays, so that kind of bites into it. But
Yeah.
you know, we may be working on New Year's Eve. Who knows? On New Year and New Year's Day. Who knows? You know,
I know, theater is-
depends on how it goes.
It's
but
grueling.
but again, because the talent is so strong here, we might be able to take off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know. take
What
a
about
break.
this play really appealed to you in the beginning when you first read it?
Mainly is that it's based on truth,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a Jimmy Lunsford fan, and Jimmy Lunsford, he was a contemporary of Cab Calloway and Duke Ellington, and all of this information, all this is in the play.
Right.
You know, we find out a lot about Jimmy Lunsford.
Right.
So he was one of the trailblazers when everyone was moving up to Harlem and New York and inventing what jazz music was.
Yeah.
He was he was at the front of that at that moment.
Yeah. But in spite of all that, W.E.B. DuBois wasn't too keen on him dating his daughter. And she actually married County Cullen, and that marriage was at the time the marriage of the decade. It was, you know, it was really, really big in 1928 when those two got married.
Now you can
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but DuBois' main concern was that he wanted her to marry someone who was heavily educated. That
Definitely.
would, yes,
Yeah. Educated and refined.
exactly, yeah. Because
Yeah,
the books I had
refined.
read, he just wanted his daughter to have way better shot at life than he ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, the fact that Jimmy Lunsford did graduate from Fisk University, the same university that W.E.B. DuBois graduated from, you know, didn't seem to count. The fact that he was a musician, that's that was the sticking point there.
Yeah, no father wants their daughter to date a
Yeah.
musician. you
One-
know.
What's the old joke? What is a musician without a girlfriend? Homeless.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the marriage didn't last.
Oh.
And there's the key.
Okay.
And that's what the story's about.
And so W.E.B.
Yeah.
DuBois was able to say, "Told ya.
Yeah.
If you listened to your father, you wouldn't go through this stuff."
No, she married the guy, she married County Cullen.
Oh, the
She
marriage
wa-
to that guy didn't last.
Didn't last.
So
It
she
didn't
probably
last.
should have gone with the musician.
Well, see there, and again, there's the story. I'm not gonna give too much away.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
No.
Does the play get into all the whole story? Or is
Yes,
just
it does.
That,
It gets in.
dramatic part?
It's you know it's based on truth.
Right.
You know, but it's not, you know, of course, and it's in the books. It's in the history books.
Yeah.
Charles Smith, the writer, not me. I'm Chuck Smith. Charles Smith wrote the play.
Oh.
A good friend of mine and a great writer. Actually, he's my favorite playwright. But he wrote the play, and you know, when he was telling me about it in 1999 when he put it together, he was saying, "Man, this is one I think you're gonna like." You
Really?
know, and he was right. And
Yeah.
I've been doing it ever since. You
No
know, ever
kidding.
since 2000 we premiered it in Chicago at the Victory Gardens Theater, and a few years later, not a few years later, I kind of waited on somebody to pick it up, but nobody did. So I produced it myself with my friend Woody King Jr. at the New Federal Theater in New York,
Wow.
and it went over big at the New Federal Theater, but again, nobody grabbed it.
Yeah.
So we took it down to the National Black Theatre Festival and exposed it to, you know, the National Black Theater scene,
Sure.
and it's been going great guns ever since.
Oh yeah. So more people are picking it up now.
Picking
it's
it up
being
like the
produced.
West Coast Black Rep, and I did it in Houston and
Wow.
did a production, consulted on a production at Fisk University. You
Uh-huh.
know, so it's been it's been really it's been going great ever since. And there's other productions under other directors. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but so the play is quite popular now.
He's
many-
good. He just answered my question before I asked it. I was
What?
about to ask if it had been shown or done in the drama departments at Fisk or any of the alma maters of any of the people involved, and he just told me it has.
Yeah.
Before I ever asked, check
Yeah,
that out.
see,
He's good.
I want
I
my
was
time,
wondering.
man.
Yeah, we don't even need to be here. Just let him talk.
Wake me when it's over.
But it's a good solid play, and
Yeah.
Again, Charles does his research, and he likes to write about historical figures.
Right.
You know, he doesn't always shine them in a great light, but it's like, hey, this is the way it really kind of was. You know.
Yeah, it's funny. We
Yeah.
were talking about Zach and I actually were talking about John Lennon the other day. You know, and how he's always praised this great man, and you hear now backstories about,
Yeah.
hey, you know what, he was kind of a jerk sometimes, and
Yeah.
you know, did these kind of things, you know, and
Yeah.
now things coming out with
Yeah.
Bill Cosby talking about these things he did,
Right.
you know.
Oh my
And
God,
there's-
they're human.
Yeah,
I know,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
Yeah, it's just-
exactly.
yeah.
They turn out to be human, you know. And but you know, we I don't talk about us normal people. We like to put individuals on pedestals and want to
Yeah.
keep them there. We don't want them, you know, we don't want them tarnished. you
Right.
know. But unfortunately, you know, when the you know, everybody's got little skeletons in their closet.
Well, sure.
You know?
And-
That's one of the things I think a lot of people they just seem to forget about, which is regardless of whether or not someone's human, John Lennon, Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, whoever it is, regardless of what they may or may not have done at certain points, it does not change what they did
What
before
they-
that. It
exactly.
absolutely doesn't make their accomplishments any less impressive. It just
Right.
doesn't.
No.
Yeah, we've gotten in this society, this idea of tearing people down. We find out that they're human and that they've done these bad things. But in the light of the things that they did do, in spite of their dark side, in spite
Exactly.
of their shadows,
And that
it's still impressive.
To me, I think that one can take inspiration from that because they're human just like everybody else.
Yeah.
If this person can do it, that means that you can do it.
Fight
Yeah.
your demons,
Yeah,
accomplish
you can
something,
do it.
people.
You can do it. You can do the same thing or
Yeah.
better.
Yeah,
You know, no matter who you are.
yeah.
Well, I probably can't do better, but
Oh.
I'll at least try to break even, you know?
You're doing all right, bro.
Yeah.
You're doing all right.
I don't know
you
if you're going to be doing the equivalent of the NAACP or anything like that.
No, yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
But there's still a lot that you can do.
One wants to hope.
Yeah. And
But by all means, you guys got to get out and try to see the show.
Yeah.
The people of Sarasota. But you know, the West Coast Black Repertory seems to have quite a reputation here. You know, everyone I talk to about, they seem that they know exactly where it is and who they are. It's great.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I have to. Like in Chicago, I have to promote a lot of the stuff I do because hey, the people don't know where it is, but everyone knows where it is.
Well, it's like the Sammy Davis Jr. show. Like
Yeah.
I was very hesitant to go to sit and watch somebody essentially do a Sammy Davis Jr. impersonation for the whole show. And man, inside of 5 minutes, it's kind of like watching Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis. You are so
Yeah.
blown away by what's going on stage that you stop thinking about it altogether.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's really impressive. I mean, they've done the shows on Cap Calloway, they've done shows on Marvin Gaye, and Nate has just created this niche for himself. With every
Yes.
season, he's like choosing another,
Yeah.
luminary in the black community and just telling their story through the
Yeah.
song and through the story and through their lives, and it's really impressive.
Yeah, and the music is what we all remember the music,
Oh,
and
sure.
we all get hooked up in the music, you know, and that's one of the reasons why sometimes the characterization sort of, we give a pass on that because we listen to that music that we love so much,
Right.
and wow, and go for it.
Well, I mean, especially with this show, who was it? Was Walt Whitman? No, it wasn't Walt Whitman. I can't remember who the author was that said that there is only two true forms of organic music in America, and one of them is jazz.
That's true.
One
Yeah.
of them was organic. It was jazz. It was organically created by these people who were just sitting around going, "Okay, there is no plan. You do what you're going to do, and then I'll play with that."
Mm-hmm. What's the other one?
I can't remember.
Is it country?
Maybe
Polka?
polka. Ooh, one wants to believe it's polka.
Yeah,
I got a feeling it's country music.
it probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stories in that one.
Yeah.
And like real country music, like Ray Charles used to play, not whatever country music's supposed to be today. Ugh.
Yeah.
But it's storytelling.
It is storytelling.
It's storytelling.
Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
I was able to do Hank Williams' Lost Highway a few years ago when they
Yeah.
were playing Hank Williams, and it's that same kind of thing where you have this music that changed the landscape
Yes.
of America and of
Right.
the world. Yet you have it through this very guy who's going he's going through some rough stuff in his life. You know,
Yeah.
that's a tragic story.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we just want to lift them up.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes even when we find out that these people have this dark side, we want to lift them up even a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because some of us do appreciate the fact that, wow, in spite of the demons you were facing, you still managed to do this.
Yeah.
Like this Phil Oakes tribute that we're doing. It's tragic that the guy killed himself by the time he was 35.
Oh,
Nevertheless,
wow. Yeah.
before that time, he had just written this great anthology of music about protesting the way that things are going in the world and
Lenny Bruce.
and
many
making people think. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a great show on Hank Williams that won several awards in Chicago last season. I hope it gets down here to Sarasota, but it's a doable show, and it's very informative about Hank Williams. And again, we find out everyone knows about pretty much Hank Williams' history, but we see he and his mom and his his various love affairs and everything else, but the talent that man had.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
6 degrees of separation from
Yeah.
fame. I have met Hank Williams Jr.,
Ooh.
not Hank Williams Sr., obviously, but I did meet Hank Williams Jr.
Well, I played Hank Williams Sr., so I feel like,
Yeah.
we have a connection now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I can still do some of the songs,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
So is there going to be any music in yours at all?
Well, Jimmy Lunsford music.
Yeah?
Pre-show,
Nice.
intermission, and scene change. It's all Jimmy
Okay.
Lunsford music. That's all I play in the productions that I do of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, how many times have you done this show now?
I guess about this must be like my seventh.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
seventh production.
And it's got to be excive to see it come together differently every time you do it.
It is. It is.
Because
It
every
is.
stage is set up different, every
It's-
set designer,
usually
every
there's,
actor.
I've 4 different set designs.
Wow.
And this is the one I'm using here is a brand new set design. So again, it's exciting and new talent, and it's a show that and you see actors bring new things to. Oh wow, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Thought of that. Oh yeah, that can work. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. It's great, and fortunately, like I say, the talent pool here is quite amazing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
Exactly.
things about theater in general is
Yeah.
you may have seen a show before. When you go and see it with a different theater troupe in a different theater, it will be a different show.
A different show.
Yeah. Well, even when you're in the same run, a lot of times
Exactly.
you'll get a different show because the
Every
actors
night.
are in a different
Directors
energy.
hate that. No, they hate. We hate that. No.
Yeah, that's true.
Our job is done on opening night.
You're
And
sitting
sometimes
backstage
you go
snapping
back
pencils.
to see it, and all of a sudden, hey, wait a minute, where'd that come from?
That wasn't a hula hoop
no.
in rehearsal. What?
I know.
Sitting backstage, checking the script, snapping pencils.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
we hate that.
I'm sure that you do. I'm
Yeah.
sure that you do. I haven't directed a show yet. I've been in a few, but I
Oh, yeah?
haven't had the chance to actually direct a play. I'm gonna put that on my bucket list, though.
Yeah, I've been directing for like about 30 years, and it's
Yeah.
it's still it's still my favorite part of the art form. I've produced, I've acted, I've done everything that you can do in theater.
Yeah.
But directing is still my passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite show of all time that you've done? that
Well,
was like,
Knock Me a
wow.
Kiss is one of them.
This is it?
Yes, one. Yeah, it's the one I feel most comfortable with.
Cool.
Because I love the story that it tells.
Yeah.
And people learn something when they see this show that they
Right.
didn't know, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When you actually informing an audience of something that's pretty relevant. Say, when you leave the theater after seeing a production of Knock Me a Kiss, you have a tendency to want to go and read the book. You want to go and read a book about DuBois and his family. That's your first inclination. And I think that's wonderful because that's educational.
To use a term coined by KRS-One, edutainment.
There you
There
go,
you
my
go.
brother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True story. Love that word.
Well, this is going to be a great show. I mean, considering it's one of your favorites,
Yeah.
that you are the Chicago director, it seems, and
Well,
for your first show here, you're going to do this one that means so much to you, and it's,
Yeah.
I think could really open people's eyes to what that this history is about, and,
Yes.
and open you up to a little bit about what's going on.
There you go.
And hopefully we'll be able to keep him here because of the weather and the nice disposition of
you
Sarasota.
got quite a few one of my old colleagues from the Goodman Theater, where I work at in Chicago, Frank Galati's down here. You know, he's been down here for quite some time. He works at the Oslo on an annual basis. And when I found out that Frank was down there, because I was his assistant director when I first got on at the Goodman for one of his productions, and I learned a lot from Frank. And Frank is like the guru of Chicago theater, and he's down here. You know? Yeah. So.
Well, you picked a good time of year to come down here because it's
Believe me, I know that. Leaving Chicago in December was not a problem at all for me. You know, I had no problem at all.
I lived there for 4 years. I don't blame you.
So you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
We're glad to have you in Sarasota. Thank you so much for
Well,
coming.
thanks so much. I appreciate it.
And again, the show is going to run from January 6th.
January 7th
January
through
7th.
February the 8th.
January 7th to February 8th. And they can
Yes.
get tickets at the Westcoast
At
Black
the
Theatre
Westcoast
Troupe.
Black- yes.
On the
Or
website.
the
What's the
website.
website there?
WBTT SRQ.org.
WBTTSRQ.org.
Yeah.
There you go. And everybody knows where this place is. 'Cause,
Yes.
You know, it's on the map now.
Come check it out.